All right. Thank you so very much for being here today. Thank you everyone who is on this call and the Hangout. Thank you for everyone who is watching. Welcome. My name is Natasha, and today we'll be talking about how you can conquer finally your to-do list. I will share with you a few tactics that I use myself to have a manageable to-do list. And the way, let me mute. Okay, cool. So the way we're going to structure our call, that's in the beginning, I'll give you, I'll share with you the training. If you received my email just a short while ago with the worksheet, you can open that worksheet, whether it's Word or PDF, whichever format you prefer. If you're watching this Hangout on my systematicsuccess20.com site, there is also two buttons at the right below the video screen, so you can download the worksheets there as well, and they will help you to just jot down your thoughts as you are listening to the steps that I'm sharing with you. So let me, in the beginning, I'll give you, I'll share with you the training. If you received my email just a short while ago with the worksheet, you can open that worksheet, whether it's Word or PDF. All right, sorry, that was echoing. Okay, cool. So I'm back, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them either below the video if you're watching this video on the site, or you can also use this group chat of the Hangout if you are watching the Hangout live, if you are on the panel of the Hangout, and I will be very happy to answer your questions at the end. And as I promised, at the end, I will show you inside my program, Systematic Success, and I'll tell a little bit more about the program itself as well. So first, let's talk about why we are here today. So you know that I'm a systems gal, and my goal for you is to have the structures and routines that you can easily fall into. Structures that allow you not to be in this reactive mode all the time, but allow you to take time and be proactive and actually be in this leadership role in your business. But I also know that the reason you don't really have much time for your systems at the moment is because your to-do list is bursting at the seams. There are just way too many things that need to happen, and a lot of times you just keep adding those items to your list, and a lot of times they just roll over from one day to another day, and even 1 week to the next week. So at some point this list becomes so long and so overwhelming that you just don't really want to look at it anymore, and just go by what you remember needs to be done. To-do list is bursting at the seams. There are just way too many things that. Okay, so everybody who is joining the Hangout, please mute yourself so that otherwise it's echoing. And the reason I know what it's like to struggle with the to-do list is because I've been there myself. I'm no different at all, and I've actually done that. At some point my list was so long that it was easier to just run my business out of my inbox and simply react, because then I knew who wanted what. But the downside is that then we are just reacting. Then we don't really have time for any proactive work, and we are keeping ourselves busy, but we are not being very productive. So my goal for you today is that you have this framework to get yourself out of this reactive mode, because all this stress and overwhelm and being on the verge of a burnout, that's not something that feels nice, or it's nothing that's sustainable. So I do hope that the framework that I lay out for you today will become this roadmap for you to manage your to-do list in a more efficient way. And so my goal for you today is that...
Okay, let me mute somebody else. 1 second.
You have this framework to get yourself out of this reactive mode.
All right. Okay, so sorry about interruptions, but it started going in and I lost a train of thought.
Okay, so again, once the email list becomes more manageable, the outcomes are such that you begin to believe in yourself and your abilities, and you experience pride and confidence in yourself. You also have clarity on what you need to be focusing on, so you can plan what needs to be done and how things need to be done. It's also possible then to delegate things, and then you don't need to keep your finger on the pulse of your business 24/7. You can take a vacation, you can take a break, and rest assured that nothing will happen, nothing will fall apart. And lastly, there'll be a recognition from your clients as well, because the way you interact with your business, it's reflected in the way you interact with your following as well. So when they see that you are running your business with confidence, and everything is happening when you promised for it to be happening, then they can trust their business, trust you with their business as well. So this is what I want you really to get out of this call today, to find that way to actually make that happen. It will not happen overnight, but these steps will definitely give you the roadmap to get there. And before we actually start with the training itself, I want to ask you two things. So first of all, pick a tool for your to-do list, and it can be a notebook, it can be a piece of paper, it can be, for example, an Evernote or a to-do or project management software. It can be anything that you feel comfortable with, but I want to make sure that that's a place that you can easily add to-dos to, and a place where you will be regularly review your to-dos, because that's the way that list will stay current and you will keep on top of things. And the second thing is that if you've been very critical of yourself, that your to-do list has been getting out of hand on a regular basis, please forgive yourself and start fresh. The fact that you've been struggling with your to-do list, that doesn't mean anything about you. It means that you haven't found a way to manage your to-do list in an efficient way, and there is no structure just yet that actually reflects your personality and your strengths, and that's why there is no structure that actually helps you to move forward. So when I started out, I struggled with my to-do list as well, just as I mentioned to you. My to-do list was a mile long, and I remember going to my husband one day and asking for his advice because I was just not finding any way to manage it. And I remember he told me that, okay, so just cut it in half. And I'm just like, okay, so if I cut it in half, what happens to the other half? So I'll come back to this story in a bit, and I'll tell you if I followed my husband's advice. But I wanted to tell you that because the reason why this is happening, again, it's not because you are lacking something. It's just a phase, and it's just a part of building a business. So it's fine. You don't really need to try and avoid it or blame yourself for it, but your goal needs to be to find a way to actually manage it in a way that works for you. So this is what we're going
to do today. So take the advice that lands well. Look at this roadmap that I laid out for you. Again, there is a worksheet, and you can either download it from one of the reminders that I sent you earlier today, or there are buttons right below the video holder if you're watching this on the site, and you can work through that worksheet together with me. So I'm going to share with you my screen right now and hope that technology works this time. But again, promise me that you will be patient with yourself and that you will pick a tool that works for you so that you can easily go back to it and work with it. So let me see. Okay, so the presentation will be in Evernote. I will be keeping an eye on notifications in the Google Hangout chat, just because it is possible that this screen sharing will stop. So if that does happen, please let me know. All right, so let's begin. And the first step, actually, that I invite you to start with is to list the tasks that need to happen on a weekly basis. And I do suggest that you start with a weekly task list, not necessarily a daily one, because daily task lists can be quite limiting. And in personal, from my personal experience, when I can't follow that task list precisely, when something doesn't happen as I planned, then I just want to give up and not even go back to it. So if you feel in the same way as well, try this method. Try a weekly task list. And to begin with, let's list everything that needs to happen in your business on a weekly basis. And you'll notice that those tasks will fall into 3 categories. So there is admin tasks like email management, research, file management. There is business maintenance, and these activities pertain mostly to the work that you do with your clients, from client intake to client management. And it's also different marketing activities like blogging, social media, relationship building, all those activities that you use in order to bring more people into your business. And lastly, the last group is category is business development, and this is new projects, new offerings, launches that you work on. Under this umbrella also fall systems review and your goals review. If you are not sure how much time each one of the category of tasks need to take, play with this formula. If you're by yourself, if you don't have much support, the amount of time you ideally need to devote to each one of these categories is about 1/3 of your time. As your business grows and you are able to get help running your business, you'll be able to delegate a lot of the activities. So your admin staff will not be taking much of your time. In addition to that, as you get more clear on different ways that you market your business or the way you work with your clients, as you streamline and fine-tune those systems, all that will be taking less of your time as well. So as a result, you will have significantly more time for your business development, which is launching new products, testing new tactics, managing your team, or just taking time off. So again, as the first step, I invite you to look at your week and just jot down the activities that you engage in on a weekly basis. Start with the admin tasks and tasks that you need to do in order to maintain your business at the current level. So if you blog, write and publish, or you can even go into a bit more detail and break it down further and say that, okay, I have to create outline, I have to write the first draft, I have to upload the post. So whichever is easiest for you at this point. If you do, for example, potential client outreach, follow up with X prospects. If you do client work, put client work. And I know that it's very tempting to add all the stuff that you want to do or try or want to learn, but at this point, let's just layer the activities that are necessary for your business to function at this current level. The biggest reason why to-do lists don't work is because we add twice or 3 times more items that we can handle. So before you crowd your to-do list with would be nice to accomplish things, put down must happen things. And that was definitely my problem. That's why my list was very long. And when my husband told me to cut my list in half, he meant exactly that. Leave what's necessary and get rid of the rest. To be honest, I did not listen to his advice. Actually, I thought that he was crazy and didn't know what he was talking about. I needed everything to get done, so I just ignored his advice and went my merry way. But looking back, I can see that half of the tasks that's on that list never even happened because they became just obsolete. And the other half, or maybe 1/3 of those remaining tasks, got done, but got done with a major delay. So now I know that if I allowed myself to have less items on my list, I would actually get them done faster and have time for the new items. And I would not be constantly on the verge of burning out. So my recommendation is start with just stuff that must happen, and only afterwards layer those additional items. So again, the first step was to list your weekly items, and you can fill them out in the worksheet as well as you listen to me, or you can come back to it a bit later. So we have that list, and now we will look at your week and define your availability. And by that, I mean how many days a week and what hours can you devote to your business. So again, look at your week and layer first the hard commitments. So you will block the time that you need to drop off or pick up your kids from school, or when you need to take your son to a soccer practice or your daughter to a dance lesson. You will block the time that you use to you need to prepare dinners or do your workout, go to visit your parents. So everything that must happen, just layer there first, and then you will see realistically what your availability is. So in my case, my Wednesdays are very short because my son finishes school at 12, and then I try not to leave much for Fridays. So Fridays are my flex days, and we'll come back to the flex days in a bit. And I not work over weekends. I try to, but I do not answer emails. So those are my limitations, and this is how much time I have on a weekly basis. And I'll come to this part about energy in just a bit. But this is how your weekly schedule, your availability actually can look like. And if you are available between this and that hour, and then again between another, like you have in individual pieces of blocks of time that you're available, make sure to put that on this list as well. All right. So when you know your availability, you will know exactly how much time you have. And now that you know the amount of time you have, we'll put the two pieces together, the list that you created in the first step, and now your availability, and we'll actually create the weekly schedule. And here, go with your preferences. If you're the type of person who likes blocking out the time and having very, very specific items on your to-do list, this is what I'm working on between this and this hour, please go with that. If you are more comfortable with having a loose list, just a list of items that need to happen on a specific day, do that. I use the latter technique. I'm not as that good at blocking time and again working on something at this exact hour, and that's why the weekly list works so well for me, because then if something did not happen, say on Tuesday, I know that I can roll it over on Wednesday and it's still within that 1 week period of time. So it's I'm not behind, and that's that helps tremendously. So here, let me give you just a few tips of how you can create this weekly schedule in a more efficient manner. So my tip number 1 is to use themes or grouping similar tasks together. And this is important because when we switch to a task very different in nature from the one that we were engaged in, we lose time. And because our brain needs time to regroup. For example, you might have noticed that you can't really go into writing a copy, for example, after you just got off the call with your client. Or you might have noticed that when you are in the flow of writing, you can create several pieces of content at once. So as you create this weekly schedule, now that you have that list, go back to it and see what are those similar tasks that you have on the list that you can group together. And here I'm just giving you an example. So for example, on Monday, you can block time for admin stuff, say processing emails that came over the weekend. Maybe there is some learning that you want to do on Monday as well. Say several blocks of time on Tuesday and Thursday, you set aside for client meetings, and you will open just specific periods of time on your calendar so that your clients would not just schedule themselves all over the place and your schedule gets interrupted, but you actually the one who tell them when they can get a hold of you. Wednesday, for example, can be your client work. Fridays, you can do admin like invoicing clients or doing your filing. And again, this will depend greatly on your availability and your original list of tasks. But see what would work for you. How you can group the tasks together so that it's actually easy for you to move from one activity to the next. Next tip is to listen to your body. And by that, I mean, when scheduling your tasks, take into account the level of energy each task needs and make sure that you work on the tasks when your energy is at the appropriate level. For example, tasks that are of creative nature, something that you've never done before and need to figure out how it's done. Tasks that you're not as excited about, maybe some admin stuff or some accounting stuff, all that require very high level of energy. So if you're a morning person, your energy level is at its highest in the morning. If you're an evening person, at night. So you know that. You also know that your energy fluctuates during the day. Say after we eat, our energy drops. So again, listen to your body and see for yourself when you actually should be working on the creative stuff. When is the best time to set to do maybe some research or something where you are just you can't do something creative or there is not much energy. Yeah, my personal example is that I I'm a morning person, and I have to do my writing in the morning because it takes me 3 or 4 times longer if I do it at night. So you can look back at what works for you and just do similar adjustments as you create your weekly task list. Another suggestion is to be proactive. Look for pockets of time when some of your tasks could be done, if only you were prepared. And for that, go back to your list and identify what tasks you can work on in front of your computer and what can be done on the go. And if something can be done on the go, see what needs to happen in order for you to be able to actually get those tasks done. And that can be as simple as bringing your notebook with you so that you could just map out your next blog post, for example, as you're waiting for your doctor's appointment. Or maybe you need to install an app on your phone and have this space where you can jot down your notes, and when you have that little pocket of time, can be like 5-10 minutes, you can create, say, conversation starters for your following on social media, and you will be just using these conversation starters when you interact with them. Or maybe a lot of times you are in a place without much without internet connection, so making sure that you have access to your Google Drive and being able to work offline can be very useful. So look again at your task list, identify the conditions that each task needs, and make sure that you're prepared to get those tasks done. So the flex time now, and this is something that might sound impossible, but I strongly recommend you try it. And you can start with just blocking a couple of hours a week for emergencies or when one of the tasks on your list takes longer than expected. And the reason I want you to start with at least a little bit of blocking a little bit of your flex time, because when you do it for the next few weeks and you block just a couple of hours, afterwards you will feel that it's not really impossible to experiment and turn an entire day a week into a flex day, a day that you will spend doing some admin work or maybe not work at all. So how great would that be? And last tip in this category is stack your systems. And this is something, that's a concept that I came up with after I read S.J. Scott's book, Habit Stacking, if you read it. And in the book, S.J. talks about this concept of creating a routine that you repeat on a regular basis. And that routine is a collection of this several positive, smaller habits. And that way you can check off your list a whole bunch of things that you know you need to be doing, but you might not find time for them otherwise. Like, for example, calling your mom or drinking water. So when I read that book, I thought to myself that, okay, so if we can do that with good habits, we can do that with systems as well. So naturally, it will not be the entire systems, but individual elements of the systems. So here, you have an example of where I combined individual elements of social media and relationship building systems. So this system stacking routine could look like this. So I check my RSS reader. So mine is Feedly, and that takes me 7 minutes because I do it a couple of times a week, so it doesn't take me that long. And as I am checking the, looking through the articles, I'm also scheduling most interesting articles to be shared with my social media followers. So that's the same 7 minutes. And then I pick an article And I pick it based on the fact that I know that one of the people that I want to keep in touch with would really enjoy it. And I sent it to him with a personal note. That takes about 3 minutes. And lastly, I pick a couple of articles from people I really like, and I comment on their blog. I leave a thoughtful comment just to show them that I pay attention. And that's another way of keeping in touch. And that takes me 5 minutes. So you can see that this simple routine takes but 15 minutes at the most. But it allows me, one, to stay abreast with the news, two, have social media presence, and then I can also keep in touch with people that I want to nurture these relationships with. And normally this is something that, like, left to my own devices, I don't have time for it. So I'm not just because I'm organized doesn't mean that I don't need these structures. So having something like this is an easy way to check off several things at once and not to worry about them for the rest of the day. And I know that it's a bit of an advanced technique, just because in order to be able to stack your systems, you need to know the elements of your systems. And if you are not there just yet, it's perfectly fine. Your list can look like something like this. And again, here I also identified how much time something potentially might take, and that's something that we do struggle with, estimating how much time something might take. Especially it has to do with technology, because a lot of times it doesn't go the way we want it to. So these are approximate estimations. But again, I have that flex time on Friday that allows me to catch up on something that did not happen during the time that I intended it to happen. And say, if I did not have time to do follow-up on Monday, I know that I will be doing follow-up again on Friday, so it can happen. Like, I'll spend twice as much time. So this is something that like, you can play with as well. And here I also use the category of how much energy it takes, because I know that my high energy items need to be in the beginning of the day, and then as the day progresses, I get less and less creative. So there is no point for me to schedule something creative in the evening. So again, what we did so far, we created a list of your weekly items. We looked at how much time you actually have and put those together. Okay, no echoing. Okay, good. So the next step is to actually evaluate your schedule, how realistic it is, because there is a good chance that there are not enough hours for what you need to get done. So how you can adjust it. Again, it might take a bit of time to playing with it, but maybe you can ask your partner, for example, to pick up or drop off your kids on some days. Maybe there are some commitments that you can say no to, at least for a while. And maybe you can hire some help or let go of some activities. Again, maybe it's only temporary. So look at items, like I mentioned in the beginning, look at items that need to happen at the very basic level first. Resist trying new tactics or testing new offerings before what you have already in place and what's working for your business. And by that, I mean, like, if you know that blogging is important to your business, great, keep it. There is something going. If somebody is on the call and wants to mute yourself, let me see. Mute Kelly. Okay, Kelly, I'm going back. All right. Okay, so as I was saying, look first at the activities that really need to happen for your business to function well at the level that it is right now. And I don't mean to say that you should not be working on anything new, but when you do that, make sure that you work on one project at a time and distribute your work on that project in a way that it doesn't force you to put the rest of your business on hold. Or if that does happen, take a bit of time and do some prep work so that it doesn't affect your business in a negative way. Because we've like I've been in a situation when something just kind of internally exploded, and I had to put like all my time to fix that or work on that or make sure that my clients were taken care of, and I had to stop with social media or something like that. So it's not like it's not going to happen, but see what you can put in place, kind of little smaller structures, so that it doesn't really affect your business in a larger way. So the way I approach it is that on my schedule I have items that are called priority items, and I call them priority items because these are business development items, and to me, like, I do need to make sure that I do something to grow my business further, but I'm also trying to organize those items in a way that I don't really take more than, say, 3 to 5 a week, and I have the rest of my time for other items on my list. So I know that my suggesting to you to pace yourself is not a very appealing piece of advice, but trust me, you'll be more productive and feel better if your list is shorter. Again, what will make a difference if you regularly come back to that list and look at what you can put back on this actual list and start working on it as well. So this is the part where we'll talk about managing your task list. So what we've done so far is created that overall structure that you will be fine-tuning over the next few weeks to see what needs to be moved where, what do you have time for, where do you need to ask for help. But on a larger scale, the way you are going to manage this task list is the following. So in the beginning, you remember that I asked you to pick a tool for your to-do list, and that will be the tool where your list lives. So you have to ensure that it's easy for you to access it and add new items and review existing tasks. And as your team grows, as you add more people, or at least when you bring help temporarily, your tool also ideally should allow you to reassign those items to your team members as well. So you can begin with a notebook and a piece of paper, and that can be something that you work with during the day, but try and see if there is something that will allow you to manage your to-do list electronically, so that later on you can share some items with your team members. So my task list lives in Asana, and I went through, actually I shared with you the exact same process that I used to create this core list of tasks. And what allowed me to do is, so basically that core list of tasks is a project, and I just copy it week after week after week and add those priority items that need to happen each specific week. And you can do the same in Evernote. Again, you can use the same, also another project management software. But what I invite you to do is create a template for yourself as well, and save yourself time by just copying those items that need to happen on a weekly basis anyway. So I recommend that you do regular reviews, and you can ideally you look at your list in the beginning and end of the day, just to remind yourself what the priorities beginning of the day, and see what actually happened at the end of the day. A larger review would happen at the end of the week, and that's when you examine what's been accomplished during the week, reassign due dates for items that did not get completed, and record some items that did not make it to the list. And this is very important, because when you interact with your to-do list in this way, you actually look at, you are not passively taking, putting new items, taking old items and putting them to this week that comes. You can have items that did not happen the week before. It's perfectly fine, but you're the one who were reassigning the dates for them, and this way you know that something needs to happen. Or maybe at some point it will not be as important anymore, and you will put a due date for it a couple of weeks from today. So you are actually physically doing it will allow you to feel more grounded and be more in control of things. And then not happen before, it's perfectly fine, but you are the one who let me see if oh, Rosie's there. I'll mute you, Rosie. 1 second. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so last bit is actually doing quarterly reviews, and that's when you review your goals, analyze your statistics, evaluate performance of your systems. So that's a bit more a strategic time that you spend with your business, and look at how actually things are going. So let me jump back so that I can see you. Okay, so I hope that this roadmap actually made it feel possible for you, that creating a to-do list that is more manageable is actually possible and within your reach. And I understand that it might, the piece that might still be a bit blurry is the systems bit, just because you might not know what could be those pieces of different systems that you can stack and create those stacking routines that I talked about, or what actually you need to look at during your quarterly reviews, or when you evaluate your systems, what needs to be evaluated and how it needs to be done. And this is the work that we do in Systematic Success. We work on 4 core systems. It's client intake, blogging, social media, and relationship building. And we create exactly that, the clear step-by-step that needs to happen for that system. And then we'll look at how managing those systems can be turned into a routine, whether it's something that you just assign for, you have a checklist and they go by that checklist, or it can be this routine that just you know that, okay, on this day this needs to happen. Say for your blogging, on Monday I'm picking the topic for my blog post, on Tuesday I'm creating the outline, on Wednesday I'm writing the first draft, on Thursday I'm uploading it, and then on Friday I'm sharing it. So it's something that then will help you to just easily fall into, because you'll know that, okay, like these bits are happening on those days, and you don't have to wonder. You don't have to try and remember what needs to happen when. And as promised, let me show you inside Systematic Success. This is something that is very. This is something that I created, not finding the right tool to teach systems. And originally, when I created Systematic Success, this program, the materials lived on the membership side. And what was not working was the fact that I was talking about systems and I was not actually showing how to create systems. But now, the benefit that the participants of this Systematic Success 2.0 have is that they create their systems directly in the tool where I'm uploading all the materials. So at the same time as they are creating systems, they are learning that tool better, and I'm showing them exactly how I use it so that they can just immediately use those shortcuts that already exist. You can also notice that the materials for each module are broken into these smaller chunks, because I know that you don't have time for, you don't have blocks of time, and work on systems is not always fun. And what I did also, I estimated how much time working on reading each piece takes, and then also estimated how much doing the assignments will take as well. So you can see that everything is outlined, everything is right there, and you can easily find yourself around and move from one task to another. So let me show you now my Asana, and the entire approach is exactly the same. So you can see that this is a project, and right here I have the reading part, and right below it are those little tasks that I'm asking the participants to work on. And again, the same estimation of how long it's going to take them and how it's going to look like. And I also record videos of how I do it personally and how it's done, so that it's not a mystery. They don't need to figure things out themselves, and it's they can create systems almost just by themselves. So if you feel that you need a bit of help creating systems, fine-tuning your existing systems, please feel free to join us in the next round of Systematic Success 2.0. We are starting next Tuesday, May 5th, and the program runs for 9 weeks. I slightly changed the format, so now after we finish each system, there is going to be a call with hot seats, with my answering questions and making sure that the way you are approaching your systems is the best way. So it's going to be very interactive, and I'll make sure that by the end of those 9 weeks, you have this solid systems in place that you can already work with. And by then, you will also know what your quarterly reviews will look like, and how you can put together these individual system stacking routines. And before I'm going to take a look at these notes just in a second, and I'll look at and see if we have questions. But I just wanted to tell you that I'll be happy to offer a bonus, and that will be for 5 people who registered today. I will offer sessions at the very end of the course, and that will be a 60-minute one-on-one session when we will analyze the systems that they created, look at how their weekly schedule might look like, and by then they will have some experience with what's working, what's not working. We will look at these different stacking routines. So if you would like to join the program, I would love to have you in the program, and I would love to chat with you at the very end and see how things went for you. So if you would like to ask a question, if you are on the Hangout, unmute yourself, and you can just hover over this panel in the very top middle area and click again on the little microphone, which is red right now for you, and you can ask your question. And in the meanwhile, I'll go back and take a look at these comments right here and see if there is something that I can answer for you. All right, so Sherry, what are other examples of admin besides email? Well, there are things that happen when, for example, if do you want to post what you actually do? Because then I can make more accurate suggestions. But say, for example, you are a client apply to work with you, and you need to make sure that you send them the contract, you invoice them, you followed up that all that was signed. So these smaller things will be the admin stuff. A lot of it is for us online business. Okay, photography and design studio. So what you might also look at is everything that needs to happen behind the scenes. So for you, it might be editing photos, or doing some prep work, or maybe there's some so if you are going to, if you need to prepare your studio, or you do it at your client's home, what needs to happen, if you need to buy some supplies, if you need to arrange for certain meetings, if you need to do some mailings. So all that would fall under admin stuff. Does it help? All right. Okay, let me go back. But feel free to unmute yourself and jump right in.
Natasha, I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Claire.
Hi. First of all, I've always had the question that's very similar to Kelly's about, I already have a lot of systems in place. I use Asana a lot. I create templates that I then copy for different projects that have repetitive tasks. So if I already have systems in place but I want to improve the systems, is this course going to be useful for that? And then my specific question regarding that also is, do we get the materials, or can we ask for the tasks to be sent to us both in Asana and Evernote, or do we have to choose? Because I use Asana as my go-to base for managing my day and things, so I'd want to actually do the tasks in Asana, but I'm trying to get much better at using Evernote and maximizing the capabilities that Evernote has, because at the moment I know I use it, but I don't use it anything like the potential that it has. So I'd love to be able to receive the tasks in Evernote so that I can use that as a way of refining my use of Evernote.
Sure. Well, I did have several participants in the last round who were receiving materials in like both into Evernote and into Asana. The only thing that I asked them is just to make sure that they use just one of those platforms as their business management hub, because making sure that you are keeping up, maintaining both will be a bit overwhelming. And I also made sure that they were familiar with both tools, at least at some level, so that it doesn't just get too overwhelming. But you just said about the fact that you use Asana already a lot, so like I'm sure that it will not be a problem if you receive materials in Evernote as well. So I'll be happy to do that. And as to your first question, it's if you are happy with your systems already, great. But if you feel that there is room for improvement, you are very welcome to join the course. Because what we also do is I share a lot of case studies. I interview different people who share their systems or how they approach it, and there are things that I still learn, and I tweak my own systems, because there are things that I hear that I like, or I hear that it's something that resonates with me, or maybe I've been struggling with something without even realizing. So having those examples is very helpful. And what's also helpful is having this almost soundboard. so that when you run your systems by somebody else, then they can give you feedback and you can fine-tune them even further. But if you feel that your systems are working right now, feel free to. I mean, it's your choice. I'm going to let you to make this choice.
Sure. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. And something that let me show you something, Claire. I think you will appreciate it, because again, this was my invention just because my Asana looked very scary at some point. I didn't know how to organize it better. And what I have right now is this business hub. And you can create the exact same thing with Evernote, but it's just one project that lists all the different projects that I have, but they are categorized. So I know where I can find what if I need to. So this is basically my shortcut. So these are templates that I have, and it's now it's very easy to share something with my VA, or whenever I bring somebody new on board. All I need to do is to share with them this project and tell them what they are responsible for, what systems or which parts of the system and where to find it, and then they can find their way very easy around. So
we're not seeing anything on the screen except for your beautiful face, Natasha.
Oh, shoot! I forgot to share my screen. Well, thank you so Oh gosh, yeah. You should have jumped in and told me earlier, and I'm just like, okay, let me let me go back and where is my Asana now? Okay, let me just start with Evernote, and then I jump into Asana. Sometimes Google Plus acts weirdly. So this is what I was showing you. So this is my my business hub, and this is the list of projects that I have. And once I started listing them, I also just added categories.
So that's still Evernote.
Hmm?
That's still Evernote.
Is it? Huh.
Yeah.
That's strange. Okay, I have something. Okay. Let me stop sharing. This is okay. Yes. Okay, here it is. Very weird. Okay, Google Plus. You are strange.
That's it.
Okay, cool. So take number 3. So this is my business hub project, and these are different projects that I have. And as I just listed the projects initially, and then created categories for them, moved them around. And what's great about this is that what I can do is list projects that are what's the word? Sorry. That are archived. So these don't have to be active projects. So I can leave on this list everything that is active, everything that I'm using right now, and archive everything that I don't need, but they are still on this list, and links are still active, so I can just access it very easily, even if it's something that is not on this list anymore. So this is super useful. So for you, Claire, if you use Asana actively, this is a great way to organize it and see like almost kind of like your business map. All right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's what Kelly said as well. Well, to answer Kelly's question, because she said that she is looking to improve and refine systems, this actually might be a good place to do it. I mean, System Success 2.0, because then we will look at, well, first of all, I share with you the moving parts of each system, so you go back and see, okay, like this is applicable to me, and this is how it can look like look like or improved, great. If it's not applicable, then not. But then you will hear different interviews and case studies of people, how different experts do it, and you can come up with something more interesting or optimized. And in this round, I'm going to be doing more interviews with people from different industries, so that's even more exciting, because you can look at, you can take so many more insights from somebody from a different industry, because then it's not something that everybody is doing, but it's something that will help you to make your systems even more robust. And again, we can look together at how you can stack those pieces of individual systems together in order to make that into a routine that you can just easily fall into.
Perfect. Thanks, Natasha.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. I'm just looking at. Oh, Sherry, let me unmute you if Sherry is still here.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Okay. You unmuted yourself. Okay.
Can you
Cool.
hear me?
So yeah, feel free to share what's if you have any other questions. If I did not answer your previous question, I'll be happy to.
You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. This is kind of weird. I've never done this before. So my question was, I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm just starting my business, and I have 0 systems, and I'm pretty disorganized. Would this still be a good fit for me?
Are you familiar with either Evernote or Asana?
You know, I've used Evernote a little bit for just note-taking, and everyone keeps telling me I should use it. And I'm really interested in setting systems up this time. I have had a business before, and I kind of just ran it, you know, by the seat of my pants, and it was not good.
Well, I think that this would be a perfect place to start for you, because we look at 4 core systems, something that you have to have in place, and that's client intake and managing your clients. It's your presence on social media and blogging, and blogging, it can be under a larger category of content marketing as well, if you don't do exactly blogging. But most importantly, relationship building, because that's something that we need, like all of us need this as soon as we start our businesses, and just making sure that you follow up with people that you want to stay in touch with, and that might include potential partners, or it can be your potential clients or clients that you've worked with before. So I think that would be a great place for you to start. And I had a couple of participants in the last round that after completing just client intake system, they said that they made their money back and much more, just because it organized their client intake in such a way that they were able to take in clients without much headache and take more clients without adding much to their workload, because then they did not have to do all that running on the back end to make sure that their clients were taken care of.
Great. I'm going to mute because, of course, my dog just started barking. Oh, wait. Because I had one more question. Do you use the whiteboard behind you? Is that part of your systems?
That's actually my calendar, but I don't think it's, it's a calendar. But I do have a board, and when I am playing with some concepts, that's my Post-its.
Okay, I was just curious because I do like kind of things I can touch and see rather than everything being on the computer.
No, we can definitely talk about different ways of using Post-its. It's something that I started sharing only recently, just because I thought that's okay. This is a fun topic, because I never thought that it will create so much buzz. So I'll be happy to share my techniques, and we can talk about how you can create your board where your systems will live on the board. That's totally doable.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sherry. All right. So if anybody else is on the call, in the Hangout, that wants to jump in, and I will quickly go and see if we have any questions on the board. I did receive a number of questions over the email. Thank you very much, everybody who sent those questions. I tried answering or addressing all of the issues. The one that I did not address, let me go back to that list, was from Pam, and she said how to shuttle my to-dos to an assistant without covering or double checking his or her work. Well, what I do with my assistant is that, let me just quickly, sorry, I'll come back to Pam's question in a second. Oh, that was Tara. All right. Okay, so going back to Pam's question, I would recommend, or I would say that you can stop checking your assistant's work once you've been working together for a long time and they know what they need to be doing. You are sure that they will do it great. Anyway, and with my assistant, there are some tasks that I know that she will do it great, so I don't really need to check. But at the same time, make sure that you include in your daily reviews those assignments as well. What I do with my assistant in Asana, whenever there are tasks that I assign to her in Asana, she actually, before, she doesn't complete the tasks herself. I'm the one who goes back, look at the task, how it's been done, and completes those tasks for the most part for her. Because in the past, like I might want to add something small or something, and then we have to reopen that task. But that saves us a lot of time. And a lot of times when I'm reviewing her work, it takes just 1 second to look, and it's everything is fine. But then there is no this extra back and forth that, or reopening conversations that need to happen if something was not done the way I wanted to. So I would say that try and have that quality control piece, and let go of that only when you know that your assistant can do it blindly and will not fail. All right. So, okay. Anybody else? Yelena, did you want to jump in and say something? No. Okay. All right.
Yes, I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's concerning, thank you so much. So it's concerning the weekly tasks and the archiving projects. So for now, I just delete my completed week. Should I delete it, or it is better to archive? So I was thinking that it would be so much inside of my Asana. Should I delete the projects or archive them?
I archive everything because it doesn't really add up to too much, and the ones that I delete are something like nothing eventful happened. I archive those whenever I work on a certain project, so that if those items are on that weekly task list that I might need in the future, I don't let go of them. But you don't have to do it if it's that a standard set of tasks that happens, or if you work on your projects separately, if say it's a launch or you're creating a new offering and that's a single project that exists separately from your weekly task list. In that case, you can feel free to just delete it.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, it helps a lot. And another question, does Asana limit the number of, so how to say it, the space? So for example, I use very often attachments from my computer. That means that it will use the Asana space, and I use the free version. So does it affect the, I don't know. So if I use a lot of attachments like this, should I pay in the future for them?
As far as I know, it doesn't really, it doesn't matter at all. that you're not taking actual space. So for the moment that there are, I think, up to 15 members in your Asana, it's completely free, regardless how much kind of memory you take.
Okay, thank you. And that means that the members, so there are not the guests, the actual members who have
the actual members, correct? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So I will then let you go. And again, if you want to jump in and join Systematic Success, you will have until Monday to do so. Then we'll be starting on Tuesday, and the first 5 people who will join today will get the bonus. So Sherry, I'll be happy to give you one. So just jump in, and we'll definitely have a chat. I'm very excited to chat with you. And if you have any questions in the meanwhile, feel free to shoot me an email, natasha@systemsrock.com, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions, Evernote related, Asana related, systems related. And if you want me to do any trainings in the future on any specific topic, feel free to tell me that as well. And again, I'm very, very grateful that you were with me today on this call. I hope that the roadmap that you have right now has been helpful. Go back to the worksheet as you work on your weekly task list, and any questions pop up, feel free to get in touch. So I'll be very, very happy to hear from you in the future and keep in touch. So thank you, and have a great rest of the day.